last night, Vladimir Putin started taking out all of the infrastructure and the military defenses of Ukraine. He said it's the denazification of Ukraine. He again says he has no intent on occupying it, but he has cut off the forces so they cannot retreat to Kyiv. This is bad for Russia, especially if it becomes a bloodbath. The president still hasn't spoken out on it. We're waiting for him and what the consequences are going to be from the United States and Europe. This could be a very bad development. Bill O'Reilly is joining us now. Hello, Bill.
Yeah, Biden's going to talk at 12:30 Eastern. That means he'll show up about 1:30 at the undisciplined White House. He's always late. So they're writing up the speech now. He doesn't write the speeches. He doesn't even edit them, interestingly enough. And they're writing it up, and he'll go over 2 or 3 times, and then he'll go out. I figure about 1:30, 1:20. And what he'll say is that they're going to, up the sanctions more, and no one will understand exactly what that is unless you're a microeconomist. But what he has to do now, and there's no two sides to this story, he's got to break Russia economically. He's got to break them. And this is the time to do it. So I was wrong about Putin, and you know how thrilled I am to admit I'm wrong, Beck.
Yeah, I know.
I was wrong because I thought Putin was a rational man, rational leader. He is not. That changes the equation. So
wait, hang on, Bill. Bill, is there a chance? Because he has always appeared to be a ruthless killer, but
yes,
also a rational ruthless killer. I cannot find any rhyme or reason. So maybe we're looking for the wrong reasons for him.
Well, look, it doesn't matter what the reasons are.
Well, it does.
Violating international law. He's trying to destroy the world order and build up a new world order.
Correct.
That
so hang on. Let's look at that for a second. If you know they're going to put sanctions on you, a normal person would say, well, we're not going to be able to handle that. But you know, and I know, Bill, something that most people don't know. I think it was 4 or 5 years ago, Putin met with the Western press and said, World War III is already here. It's already being fought. Your leaders just don't know it. And it will be fought with ones and zeros. If he is indeed looking for a new world order, this allows him to fight back and cripple financial markets, do what we're doing to him, but fight with ones and zeros.
Okay, but it's a different situation, Beck. Yes, he's going to hurt and has hurt worldwide financial markets, and the Dow is down about 700 points, 800 points today, and oil is up over $100 a barrel. That's temporary for us, but for him it isn't temporary. So the only thing you can do with an irrational leader, and one of the reasons I made the mistake in my analysis that said Putin wouldn't bring military invasion to Ukraine was that when I talked to Trump thought he was rational. Trump thought that there were lines that Putin wouldn't cross because he didn't cross them with Trump. Okay, now we know that Putin is not rational. So when you have a dangerous person with power in that area, and Saddam Hussein was one, Adolf Hitler was one, Joseph Stalin was one, and history is littered with them. You have to break them early, and history has shown that. And the United States and Europe in a combination can break the Russian economy, which would lead to a coup against Putin. So the people would rise up, the military would turn on Putin. I don't think anybody's real thrilled about this invasion of Ukraine within Russia because it doesn't do Russia any good. It doesn't do them any good. They're basically having trouble feeding their people now, and that's China's problem too. So they have trouble providing a decent standard of living for their own people, and this is going to hurt them even more. So you've got to crush
Putin
their economy.
Putin is not suicidal. He knows if
late now.
his
It's
but
too
Bill,
late.
I'm telling you, if we would have just said the Ayatollah Khomeini is irrational and a crazy man and left it at that, or Osama bin Laden, we wouldn't understand who we're dealing with. It seems irrational to us, but that's because we don't view it from their point of view. I think Putin, it does matter.
No, it doesn't matter at all. His point of view doesn't matter because he's already demonstrated that he's going to start a war. So what the deuce does his point of view matter? Now we have to take
What is he trying to accomplish? What is his real goal?
Okay. So his real stated goal is to reimpose the power of the Soviet Union. That's his stated goal.
The empire, yeah.
Right. But I think he's a loon. I think he's a sociopathic, megalomaniacal loon.
He's all of those things except for the last one.
So then, if that's who he is, that he wants to blow up the world, okay, then you have to stop him from blowing up the world. And the only way to do it is to break the Russian economy so the Russian people themselves take care of him.
All right. So there is this weird thing going on, Bill, where people are saying, either we've got to go in and put boots on the ground and go to war, or they're saying we love Putin and, we caused a lot of these problems, which some of that is true, but not this. I think we need to recognize that Putin is a very bad guy. This is a very bad thing, violation of international law, and we need to be part of the solution. But that doesn't mean go to war with Russia. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. I mean, look, you're not going to get into a shooting war with Russia unless Russia invades a NATO country. So if that happens, then you have to uphold the treaty and defend militarily. But it won't be the kind of war that was waged in Vietnam and Korea, even to some extent in Iraq. This will be a high-tech situation. And Russia, again, has tremendous weapons. They can inflict an amazing amount of damage on the world. Now, will this guy Putin bring it to that? I can't predict. But the fact that he did this is that you don't give him the opportunity. All right.
Correct.
So if you inflict massive economic pain on Russia now, this is the only way to stop this man. So if Biden comes out and is a mealy-mouthed, bumbling guy at 12:30 in his conference today, and we're in serious trouble. I do not expect that. I expect that he will tell the world that there's going to be no more commerce with Russia. None. Okay? Everything stops. I would say no Russian airplanes are going to be allowed to land in the United States or Europe. I would absolutely say that because everybody can understand that. Okay? And I would also say if China or anyone else helps Putin, we're going to slap economic sanctions on them. Now, that's the tough guy approach we need. Will Biden do it? And if he doesn't do it, then we have a totally different discussion here. But
if he doesn't do it, because you're a historian, Bill. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is what it must have felt like in 1939 with Germany.
But it was a different situation then, because the Allies then, in the late 1930s when Hitler was running roughshod, weren't prepared for war. We are. Trump rebuilt our military, okay? And we are a ferocious military machine, and so is NATO. I mean, Ramstein Air Force Base, if it were me, if I were president, I'd be moving heavy bombers in there now. Just as a show of force, okay? You've got to send a message to China and the rest of the world. We will not tolerate a breakdown in world order caused by a gangster. All right, that's what Putin is. He is a thug. All right. There is.
Do you think
illegal...
anyone?
Go ahead.
Do you think anyone in our Pentagon, anyone in the White House, really would know how to position, without getting us into a war, know how to position this or fight this? I mean, there was one of the national security advisors for Obama last night and said, I don't trust any of these people in the White House, and I know them. I don't think they're prepared to do this.
I don't deal in that paranoia world. I don't deal in the world of punditry that says, "Oh, let it go. It's not, America's fault." You want a worldwide depression? You want everybody in America paying $10 for a gallon of gas and not, $30 for a hamburger? Then you let these guys run wild, because that's what'll happen. All right. So there's this idiocy, and I'm starting to lose patience with it. On television every night, where Putin's not that bad a guy. It's Biden's fault that this is happening. It's not Biden's fault this is happening. Did Biden make it easier? Absolutely. Did everyone on the planet know he was going to be a weak president? Well, if you didn't, you're a blanking moron. All right? But 80 million people voted for him. That's on us. Are we going to learn a lesson from that? I hope so. You put a weak guy in, you got the Civil War. You put a weak guy in 2020, you got Putin running wild. Okay? Are we getting the message? No more weak guys. No more progressives. No more Green New Deals. No more. Or you're going to live a life of misery, and your children are going to be in chaos. Do we all get that now, please? But you don't blame Biden for what Putin is doing. That's stupid. You rally behind the country, United States, and you say, we're breaking Russia economically. We're sending a message to China right now. You are not going to destroy world order, because if you do that, every American gets hurt. You see the linkage? If you don't, you're a blanking moron. I hate to be so stark, Beck, but it's time for this kind of talk in this country. Americans made a tremendous mistake electing Joe Biden. If you are still defending your vote, you're stupid. Stupid. If you are behind the progressive movement, you're destructive. I don't want you in my house. Okay? It's over. They failed. Biden is a bad president. Unfortunately, he's the only one we have, and now we have to demand that he break Russia economically. That's what has to happen if Americans want to go back to normal lives, period.
All right. Bill O'Reilly, I wish that you would be a little more clear on your feelings. Have you ever heard, except in like World War II, a president say that these things are going to cost the American people? I mean, financially? I've not heard that from any other president. And what he was talking about was gas prices and everything else. And it is going to cost us.
No doubt it is. And this is a foolish, ideologically driven policy of trying to strangle the fossil fuel industry in the name of climate change. Mm-hmm. When you have, and I don't know whether you noticed this or not, but last week, China and Russia made a deal for coal, where Russia is going to ship thousands of tons of coal to China, who's building 5 new coal plants for energy.
A week.
And we're destroying our fossil fuel industry here, and they're doing that? I mean, this is the kind of stupidity that's driven by the corrupt media, Hollywood, all of the places where you hear it. That's just incomprehensible. It's incomprehensible. I want a clean planet, but you don't destroy the infrastructure of your energy delivery system when people need to get to work and heat their homes because of some blanking theory. Okay? While the other side of the world is polluting the hell out of the planet. You don't do that. That's stupid. Again, I have to use that word. Okay? So now...
But it's true.
Again, 80 million Americans voted for this man, and he goes on and goes, tell you, my stupidity means you have to pay more money for fuel. That's what he should say. It's not all Americans have to sacrifice. It's my stupidity is causing your bills to go up. That's the truth, is it not, Beck?
It is. Bill, I have about 90 seconds left. What should we watch for, good and bad, in the speech today?
If it's all gobbledygook and you don't know if it's this bank and that bank and this guy can't come to Finland or whatever, then you know it's BS. If he gets out there and he says, no more dollar transactions with Russia, we're going to strangle their economy, we're going to break them because we can't put up with this kind of stuff, then maybe we got something.
I have to tell you, if a member of the audience is not subscribed to BillO'Reilly.com, I would subscribe right now because I have a feeling Bill's a little passionate on this, and by the time he hits his program this afternoon and evening, I have a feeling he will be deadly on this topic. Bill, thank you so much. God bless you.
Okay, Beck, thanks for having me.
Thank you. BillO'Reilly.com.